Good evening, my friends. Welcome back. So today we're tying a variation of a classic called the Magnus, and well, this isn't probably a variation if you ask the experts. It has the colors and a UV resin head, so it's not really like the classic, but who cares? Let's jump down to the vise here and let me show you my take on this good old classic. Okay, let's get this one going. The hook in the vise is from Eric's Hooks, and it is the NS 156 in a size 8. Really great hook. So basically this fly is kind of built up like the Sandstorm, if you guys remember that one. And just cut off some craft fur here, because that's what this fly is mostly built out of. Cut off a bunch here and then pull out this extra fluff at the bottom, under fur. It's not really under fur because it isn't real fur, but you get the picture. I want that to be almost twice as long as the hook shank, so it's just around there. Flip it over on itself. I want to tie this in reverse so it keeps from tangling and all that. So one way you can transfer a bunch like this is to push it with your finger like this and then flip it over, and then it's pointing the other way. So tie that in on top there. Cut off this extra little piece there, we don't need that. And then just flip this back over on itself. Like that. Like that. Just wanted to make sure that it sits straight on top there. Then you want some kind of dubbing to cover the shank here, and also to give this next, you'll see that in a bit, some craft fur in a dubbing loop. And if you tie that up against a layer of dubbing, it will naturally point out like that, just a little bit, give the fly a better profile, which I like in these kind of flies. Get a layer of dubbing on here. This is Semi-Seal from Spawn Fly Fish, one of my new favorite dubbings. This doesn't have to be tapered or super neat or whatever. Just want to get a good layer on there. Tiny bit more, I think. So you have something to brush out when the fly is done. Like that. Make another dubbing loop. Get your tying thread out of the way. Put your twister in that loop and just let it hang there for a minute. And then you want to cut off some more craft fur. Usually I prepare this before I even start filming, but I wanted to show you guys how I plug out this on the fur here, so just take your time and get that out. Otherwise the fly will be way too bulky. Right, so get that in the loop. I just spun up on me a little bit here. Get that untangled. And lengthwise, I want to place it so that the longest fibers are just short of the tail here. Spread that out and then cut off the excess here as close to the thread as you dare. Now a wax thread in this case is a lot better, but if you do this enough you can do it without a wax thread. So, and I don't like the wax threads. They're kind of too thick for my taste. I don't know, I could use an 8/0, but that is then again too thin, or not too thin, but it breaks really easy. So I like these GSP threads. Alright, so that's secure in your loop there, and then just start turning this. One turn in front of the other. And kind of push the hairs back like this for every turn. Just like that, secure that loop. Cut that off, and then just clean this up a little bit. Pulling these fibers backwards and then tying on top of them. Not all the way, just a tiny bit by the hook eye there. Let's get a whip finish on that. Just the one. Enough. Cut off the thread. Then you want to get out your dubbing brush and really work that dubbing there. Really brush it out. Also one of the reasons why I like this dubbing is it has a little bit of flesh mixed into it as well, so that looks really nice. Just get my hook centered here so it doesn't, there we go, doesn't come out of frame when I spin it. Right, so get out some of your favorite UV resin. Put on a drop on your finger. You don't have to do this, you could also just use the tip there, but I have a bit more control with my fingers, I think, so that's what I do. And then just work your way around the fly like this. And then what you can do is kind of determine the head shape. Like this. And then cure that first thin layer there. Just like that. Let's get on some eyes on this bad boy. I am using the Flexi Eyes, the new Flexi Eyes from Pro. This is a variety pack, so you can test out all the different sizes and colors. Really great product, especially because they're flat. I used to favor the Flyman eyes, the living eyes from Flyman, but they're already they're 3D and quite thick because of that. So when you make a fly like this, sometimes the head can be or get a bit bulky or a bit round because of these 3D eyes, and with these eyes I don't have that, so I really like that. That's one eye. Let's get one on the other side here. Push it in. Look if it's in the right place. I want it to be exactly as on the other side, not that the sea trots give me any credit for that, but you guys know me and I like to keep my flies looking good in the box as well, otherwise I won't fish them. I'm sure many of you guys are just the same. Right, so the original Magnus is tied with grizzly feathers and a red thread and dumbbell eyes, and it has a red head, but to kind of give it that feel, I have this fluorescent red UV resin from Gulf, which I really like. So I'll just put on a small drop here. On the belly, kind of work it in. There we go. see all these pointy ends here from the dubbing loop. You can trim those off, which I will be doing in just a minute. Like that. Zap that with your lamp. They do need a little longer for curing these colored UV resins, but I think they're great. So let's trim this a little bit. You can just open up your scissors like this if you've got a good pair, and just kind of cut off these pointy ends. And again, this doesn't really matter for the way this fly would fish. I just want it to look good in the box as well, so. And also the fact that I have to photograph this fly after this video to make a thumbnail and all that stuff, boring YouTube stuff. Right, that's looking good. Then I want to finish off the fly with a clear coat of UV resin all the way around. Make sure you cover the eyes so they stay on there at all times. So just keep this moving. I think I've got a little too much on here. Just work that further into the fly. It doesn't matter actually, because there is so much movement in the back part of this fly. And this fly will also be a bit front heavy, which will make it jig. You strip it in, which is also very, very good in a sea trout fly. So here we go. Cure that head. And that there, ladies and gentlemen, is a more tuned version. Why do I keep calling it a version? It's a baitfish, it's not a Magnus. But I took the inspiration from the Magnus, so let's just leave it at that. Alright guys, that was it. Super cool color combo on this one, if you ask me, especially with that red trigger point up on under the head there. And also if you slide one of these little rubber magic heads on your leader in front of the fly, it will really give it a lot of extra movement, especially with the craft fur. And if you're wondering why I don't tie it in on the hook, I think it looks absolutely ridiculous, so that's why I just push it onto the leader, and that gives roughly the same effect. So go ahead and try that out. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please make sure you do that. Hit the bell so you get notified whenever I upload new videos, and I guess I will see you guys next week.